Hello everyone, it's me, JayskiBean, and welcome to another tier list video of Around the Clock at Bikini Bottom. This time I'm going through all of the levels in the game, including the tutorial and the final level. I'm actually going to start with the tutorial and I'm going to go through each level as we encounter them. I'm probably going to use the same order that I take in my speedruns. So, tutorial. You can skip it. That's great. Yeah. Speedrun wise, it's the shortest level in the game. Shouldn't take you longer than 19 seconds to get through that cutscene, those cutscenes, and then get through the skips and head on to Glove World. Gameplay wise, it's really cool. It's very well made. It's very easy to get through. And it teaches you the basics of the game. And I'm talking final version of the game too, where they have the clam tip things. Oh, I can't remember what they're called, but anyway, the tip clams, I think is what they're called, so something like that. Anyway, I'm sure you guys will correct me in the comments, but they actually show videos now of how to do things and what controls to use on the keyboard and all that junk, and you go through like the basics, like catching jellyfish, the golden spatula, the Goofy Goober tokens. You meet Barry, you meet all the characters, you meet a threat. You don't see any Jelliens, I don't think. Yeah, because they're just red jellyfish that stun you. So you don't see any like Jelliens yet, but there is a threat in Big Lenny. You have like a little area where you can die, and later on when you go back, you can unlock the mini games in this level. So this is like a jam-packed, 100% very good level. There's jump scares involved. There's e-spamming explained. There's so much is here. You can lose contests. You can win contests. There's secrets. There's Easter eggs. The spatula gate can get mad at you and erase your data if you do it right. There's just so much happening in the tutorial, and it's not done wrong. Like, there's a few glitches here and there, but they're just hitbox bugs, you know? So anyway, that's staying in S. I don't think I'm gonna change that. Tutorial is gold. It's literally gold. Look at it. So, all right, Glove World. Glove World, it seems like one of the longest levels. It's definitely the longest level of the ones in the YouTube demo, but it's come a long way since its conception. You know, in the YouTube, it's way more optimized, and the maze is a lot easier to understand now. It's fast. It's the only thing it's got going against it is how RNG based it is with the pinkies and stuff. It's probably going to bump it down to, I don't even know where I'm going to put it initially, because like design-wise, all that stuff, it's a great opening story-wise to the game. So we'll stick it in A at first for like design and story. The models look good, animations look good. There's very few bugs. The Easter eggs are pretty easy to find. The maze is pretty easy to get through. There's a few cutscenes. The RNG brings it down, I think, 2 notches. There's so much RNG in this level, and from a speedrun point of view, you can't speedrun it. Like, you have to just refresh and refresh. Thank God is the first level, and I applaud Dave and Padre for making the two heaviest time loss levels due to RNG the first couple levels you could tackle. So that's going down to a C because of the RNG. Otherwise, it's a great level. So then we have Patrick's Rock, which is always the next one I tackle. RNG wise, it's not as bad as Goofy Goobers. It's oh my god, it hits my nerves so hard. It's so nerve-wracking, but there's a tutorial in it, teaches you how to fight. That's gonna bump it up to an A. That's fucking awesome. It's very imaginative. It's a very good level. It's very well thought out. There's different loops and exits to get through places. There's Easter eggs and all the mazes. There's different routes to get to the exits of each section. I think I already said there's lots of Easter eggs, berries in it. Berries in like every level though. It's compared to a lot of levels where there's a bunch of dead ends, this doesn't have it many, like at all. Like you're very rarely cornered. It's pretty easy to survive once you know what you're doing. I think the hardest part is the jumping puzzle with the cannons. Otherwise, you're good to go with acing this thing. It's pretty cool. I like it. It's sitting in A. Even with the RNG for speedrunning, the RNG only really loses you like 45 seconds to a minute. I'm gonna have to speed this shit up if I want to get through the rest of these levels, by the way. So now we have the Pineapple. Pineapple is starting in A, I think, as well. It's a solid ass level. RNG hits you really hard sometimes with Doodle Pat. That's going to bump it down to a B because RNG sucks. And Doodle Pat can really fuck you in your runs when you're trying to speed run it or get all the extras or anything at all. Extras are pretty easy to find, although one is oddly placed right next to one of the things you need to grab. That's going to bump it down to C because you can accidentally grab that instead. But Gary's location and the Gary food location are now consistent. They're not randomized. Bump it back up to a B. So I think SpongeBob's Pineapple is gonna be sitting at a B. All right, cool. So now let's do Anchor Way. That is the next level I always do. Anchor Way sits at A, 100%. It's such a good level. It's probably my favorite gameplay level. Like, it's probably my favorite level gameplay wise. The AI is really balanced. There's a lot of really cool Easter eggs. There's a slick strat you can do to smoothly go through the level no matter what. There's lots of hiding places to avoid Pearl. It's borderline S, like it's up there in A. Like it's probably one of my favorite levels. Squidward's Monument. It's gonna start off in A. I think it's pretty solid. Easter eggs are really good. Oh my god, that Squidward's suicide Easter egg. Oh, forgot about that. That's moving. That's bumping it up ahead of Patrick's Rock for sure. That's such a good ass Easter egg. Any creepypasta Easter eggs are gonna bump a level up, so that's borderline S as well. That's actually gonna go ahead of Anchor Way. God, that's, I don't know, maybe behind it because Big Lenny's hitbox is pretty. Big Lenny's hitbox. Okay, yeah, Big Lenny's hitbox bumps it down to a B. That's pretty yikes. But otherwise, it's not bad. It's good gameplay. There's good routes. You can loop Lenny pretty well. Actually, yeah, we'll keep it A. We'll keep it A. It's a good level. So let's move on to Tentacle Acres. Tentacle Acres, we'll go ahead and plop it down in B. There's so many exploits in this level. It's insane. Some of the extras are pretty rough to get. The jumping, or not the jumping puzzles, the throwing rock puzzles are pretty rough at first. Even with the clam tips or whatever. You guys are gonna hate me for calling it that because I know that's not what it's called. But I mean they're not rough, but at first it's kind of hard to understand for a brand new player. You can totally skip the maze portion, like with the Nestler in the maze, and even if you don't skip it, it's hard to juke that Nestler. You got the berry hide and seek if you want to ace it, and that is a bitch. Berry hide and seek is 99% like coin flip, and I don't like that. We're moving it to a C. It's going down. So we got the bugs, we got the berry coin flip. I love the boss fight. It's hard if you don't know it though. And what's with that last final stretch section? It's just a run to the exit. Whatever, it's fine. We'll keep it at C, but it's hanging down there almost to D. Now let's move on to Barg'N-Mart. We're sticking Barg'N-Mart at C just by default. We'll put it at the top of C for now. But it's man, I don't know, man, because it's bugged to the point to where you don't have to get any of the money. Like the whole point of acing the level is to take a risk by exposing yourself and having to run to the exit. But you don't have to do that if you grab a patty, you just sprint straight to the exit, you spam E once you have all the money. Or the money, the mayonnaise. Even if you trigger the jump scare, it doesn't cancel the ending cutscene if you hit E fast enough on that door, so you don't even have to grab the money. So the money is useless. The golden spatula is in a good spot. The boxy's in a good spot. No cursing from Barry at all. He's sad? When is Barry sad about anything? What? This is so out of character. Collecting items throughout the entire level. It's kind of slow paced. I've even had people in the comments in my videos saying that double speed in this level, when I did my double speed playthrough, was way more interesting. So it's kind of a boring level. We're putting in a D just because it's boring. I know it sounds like I'm talking shit about this game. I'm not. I'm just shooting out facts as I go, and I'm trying to go fast. Okay. All right, so Mrs. Puff's boating school. That's an F. I'm putting it out as an F because that is the first section's RNG. You can lose a minute there when it comes to speed runs. I I've established in my previous Jellien video that I'm not a fan of anglers. They're kind of broke, and I really don't like their mechanics. Second part of the level, you gotta wait forever before going out that first door. Mrs. Puff is really random. I don't like how she switches up her patrol routes. The level design in the second part of the level is kind of wonky, with there only being one way through the level, and you have to sit and wait. There's a lot of immersion breaking downtime in the level, and you have to go back and forth a lot. I'm not a fan of going back and forth a lot, and I'll get back at that when it comes to Sandy's Treedome later. But I'm gonna go ahead and put Boating School as an F. The cutscene at the end's great, the story's great, the designs and stuff are great. The berry race is fun. I love the berry race. It's a great introduction to berry race, but the level's still sitting at an F because the gameplay is just so bleh. And that hat, don't get me fucking started about that hat. That was bullshit. Okay, so now we have Goofy Goobers. Where are you at, Goofy Goobers? Goofy Goobers is a solid A. Goofy Goobers is sitting at the top of the A list because Goofy Goobers is damn good. That ambience is great, the Easter eggs are great, the berry race is great, the enemy implementation is awesome. The patrol routes are easy to work around if you play the level intended. Once you understand that the AI works the way it works, it's very cool and very smooth when you go through it. The only thing I don't like about it that might bump it down the list a couple spots, probably right here, is that there are belchers. And I do like belchers. So that's that for that level. Mermalair sitting in an F. It's super long. The boss fights used to be very, very, very unintuitive. He's since changed that, so we'll bump it up to a D, probably above Barg'N-Mart. It's not boring, but it's a long level, and it's a deathless level, and there are Easter eggs in the level, but they're kind of hard to get to, and at one point they're actually clumped together. The AI can fuck your run up if they see you, and there are a couple of them that can stun you at a range and then just come up and kill you. Some of the puzzles are fucked up. The checkpoint map is really fucked up. Let's move that back a little. It's borderline F, okay? We're just gonna sit at a borderline F. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate this game. I feel like I should remind you guys. I'm just trying to go fast. Okay, so now we have Krusty Krab. Oh my god, Krusty Krab. Oh, Krusty Krab. Okay, so we'll sit it at D. God, I'm gonna try hard not to talk shit. This is the hardest ace in the game, but not difficulty-wise, RNG-wise. It's at the bottom of F. I can't. I just can't. It's a copy and paste of 3M at the Krusty Krab, level design-wise. Granted, it's an easy way out, and it's not necessarily bad. It's still a good level design, and it's good mechanics. I like the mechanics. That bathroom and that cellar, though, it's so hard to get around the pinky and still get to those in time. I feel like acing it is so difficult, and it's a coin flip, 100%. Even with the Starfish Man filter on, it's so hard. That, and there's a bug to kind of exploit it, so yeah. We're sitting at the bottom of F because RNG big time weighs in on your performance in that level, and I don't like that. So Krusty Krab, we have Industrial Park next. Industrial Park is solid. It's solid. We're putting it in a B, mostly because it's got a really good boss fight. It's got a really good first section. There are anglers, though. Ugh. Anglers in the first section. Boss fight's kind of hard, but that's fine. It's very intense. It's a shooter boss fight, which is very cool. We can get past the anglers. The anglers are pretty easy to get through, and there's a really cool speedrun skip in this level too, so we'll move that above B. It's not very RNG based. Depending on your anglers, you can move around the alleyways pretty easy either way, so that's cool. Then we have Larry's Gym. Larry's Gym is a good level. It's very hard at first, though. As a new coming player to the game, Larry's Gym's very hard. And a lot of people are saying that Larry himself is very RNG based, but if you know how to avoid him, it's not that bad. I rarely ever lose speedruns to Larry's Gym. I always get a solid, I think it's 310 maybe on that level. It's probably longer than that. It's probably not 310, but it's a short time, okay? It's 510, I don't remember. So Larry's Gym's pretty simple, easy. If you're like a machine and you know what you're doing, it's easy as balls, so And then we have Jellyfish Fields, I believe, is after that, right? Yeah, Jellyfish Fields is a solid level. The boulders are not cool though. Pinkies are not cool either. Once you get past that though, you have Bessie, which is one of the coolest boss fights in the game. That's bumping up to the top B right there, baby. Bessie is so cool. Bessie's my bitch. I fucking love Bessie. All my homies love Bessie. Now we have Goo Lagoon. Let's talk about Goo Lagoon. Goo Lagoon's a solid level. There's some really solid skips in that level. You can bug Weenie Hut Juniors, which used to be my least favorite part of Goo Lagoon, to where you can just get straight through it. You can aggro the AI in there, and you jump on one of the tables, and then you like move around the table, and he'll just be stuck in that corner because the AI is programmed not to lose the player. So once he loses the player's location, he's bugged, he's stuck there, he's trying to get to a specific spot, he'll never get there. So unless you go up and give him a hug, you're not gonna die. So that's that. Also, what was I gonna say? Also, the puzzles are kind of wonky. The level's really fucking long. It's probably one of the longest levels. And you have to go back like almost all the way through the level to get the spatula if you're trying to ace it. So I'm gonna move that down to the top of D because I don't like going back and forth. And that brings us to Sandy's Treedome. Automatically at the top of D right here, because I don't like going back and forth. It's a solid game. It's a solid level. It reminds me of Boofy's Bunker a lot with the going back and forth. And actually, when you start to get it down, it's not too bad. Let's move it up a couple slots, just because like once you get it down, it feels so good to beat. Like it's really good. Starfish Man filter looks like shit, but the atmosphere in this level and the fact that there's not Jelliens, just like every other level coming after you, helps it a lot. Actually, let's move it to the top of C. Let's just keep it there. And then we have the final level. That's S. It's so good. There's so much there, and there's so much story, and my God, I don't want to spoil everything, but do you play as every character in that level? Yeah, you do. You play as every character in that level. There's one part for each and every character, and it's so awesome. Like there's different mechanics from, like, just blows my mind how much they put there. Like there's the first section, which is a shooter. There's the second section, which is a fun time Foxy-esque section that's cheesable, by the way. You can do that in like a minute. The third section's a boss fight, which is the coolest music in the game, hands down. And the fourth section is another boss fight, which the fight itself is really fucking cool, but it's really fucking frustrating. It's an adequate boss fight, being the hardest fight in the game. And then the ending is so good. It's so well thought out. The story, the emotional turn that it takes, boom. It's just great. So let's go over this list. I rushed it a little bit, admittedly, but before I go over this list, I should have done this at the beginning of the video, but these are my opinions. If you feel like you need to be like, you're wrong, then go fuck yourself, because they're opinions and I'm allowed to have them and they're not gonna change. So, unless I decide to change them. So, S rank, tutorial, final level, boom. That's not going anywhere. Those are both solid. A rank, we got Anchor Way, Patrick's Rock, Goofy Goobers, and Monument. Do I have any levels I like evenly or more than these? I don't think so. I think these are fucking solid. If Weenie Hut Juniors was its own individual level, it would be up here. Let's be real. So B, we got Jellyfish Fields, we got Industrial Park, we got SpongeBob's Pineapple, and we got Larry's Gym. Those are all solid levels as well. I don't like the boulders, but I can move past that to put it up there at the top levels. Part of my favorites. So let's actually move SpongeBob's Pineapple and Larry's Gym up on this list to be like the beginning of B, because those are probably my favorite, like super fast ones to get through. I really like SpongeBob's Pineapple. I just don't like Patrick's randomness. All right, and C, we have Tentacle Acres, Glove World, and Sandy's Treedome. That sounds solid. Like that's about like, I feel going through those, you know? And honestly, even Patrick's Rock, I feel going through it, but I feel that way with Goofy Goobers too. And this one right here, like I love going through Anchor Way, but these three right here, I'm just like, I dread going through them, but only in speed runs. Any other time I'm going through them, I'm fine. Okay, so then we have D, we have Goo Lagoon, Barg'N-Mart, Mermalair, and then F, way too RNG based. But yeah, that is my tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed the tier list. If you guys have any differing opinions, let me know in the comments. I'm not wrong, it's my opinion. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you slap that like button underneath the video. My voice is running out. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.